Alright, you guys, welcome back to some Borderland of Dusk. Someone has collapsed again, and we need to go find out who it is. I think that's pretty important. We need to determine who the ghost is, and hopefully we'll make some good progress this episode. That's what I'm very much hoping for, because last episode was so much theorizing. I just had so many ideas. I need to have one of them confirmed at least, okay? I need to feel like I'm going in a direction that's right. Haven't heard someone collapsed again. Another one. DJ Khaled. Some disciplinary committee members, huh? Damn, it really is a chain. Yeah, Kurodani, did it happen outside the infirmary again? Alright, thanks. We'll check there for starters. Yeah, I definitely think that's the first place we should look. Because that would be consistent with the other two. How's our classroom, and hurry over there. Tsubaki-chan. In the hallway outside the infirmary, Tsubaki-chan and Murakumo are having a conversation with solemn expressions on their faces. I like how we don't even acknowledge Murakumo. Like, in our head we do, but out loud we don't. We just call out for Tsubaki. This is why this guy doesn't like us. We're so mean to him for no reason, other than it's fun. Seeing us rush over towards them, she stops her conversation and turns to face us. Murakumo looks annoyed but keeps quiet nonetheless. We heard about it when we got to class. Someone collapsed again. Oh, they probably just had low blood sugar. They just probably passed out. It's okay. I'm not worried about that then. The courtyard, it wasn't here. Interesting. So they put up guards, and I kind of had one of my many theories is that if they did something like that, then the ghost wasn't going to return there, because obviously they don't want to be caught, and that would be an easy way for them to, get caught. So it makes sense that the location changed. I still think it's consistent. Saying that, she shifts her line of sight to the end of the hallway. Standing there is a male student wearing the same coat as Tsubaki-chan and Murakumo, who notices her and greets us. Oh, he told you about it. It seems a disciplinary committee member confirmed that nothing happened here. There's no pattern to this at all. I think there is still, though. I just think you guys... So you have to think about a pattern, where something consistently happens in a certain way. We changed that pattern. We added an element or a variable to it that changed how it operated. In the sense that we put guards up there. So the ghost was being consistent, but we put the ghost in a position where they're going to get caught if they end up showing up here. There was never any guards there before. So we changed it. Murakumo's a second year and Yoshida's a first year. I mean, you could say in that sense they're all different years. Maybe whatever scheme they're planning, they need different years, students? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm just trying to think what the idea behind this. What is their motive? I mean, it could be like an experiment of some kind. That would make sense that they're picking different years because they're maybe at different points in life. Just don't know. Just checking, but is he someone that either of you two know? So that means absolutely nothing, because clearly you know of him, but you're not close to him. Realizing the gravity of the situation, he answers me honestly in a subdued voice instead of trying to start a fight. I will say I don't necessarily understand the victims. I'm guessing we're not gonna see a sprite or anything of this third person. It sounds like they're just like a whatever student. I don't really understand the motive, I guess, in that sense. Why they're picking the people that they are. It's entirely possible it's not for any particular reason. We'll see. Yeah, there's nothing in common between you and Yoshida.
幸い今回も混沌しているだけのようなんだがな。
No, because there's more to it than just feigning. They're losing memories, and we need to understand why they're losing the memories. What do these three have in common that somebody would want to erase their memories of the past 3 days? What a pain this is turning out to be. There were a few days separating Murakuma and Yoshida's incidents, but this was right on the heels of Yoshida's. Okay, so I understand why he's mentioning that, because, like, it could be you're racing 3 days, you're waiting for the next person, and then erasing their 3 days, so you're kind of creating a line of erased memories, but this was right afterwards. It's getting worse and worse. As concerned as we were, the first bell rings, and we have no choice but to go back to our respective classrooms.
ではな、二人とも。くれぐれも気をつけてくれ。
Yeah, we will, you too. The coats of the two disciplinary committee members flutter as they turn around and walk down the hallway. Yeah, I'm just not too sure. We just don't have a lot to go on. I'm kind of surprised they haven't really fed us more. Like I said, I've had a lot of theories. I don't have anything to confirm any of those. I'm not sure. Maybe something's gonna happen to Koga next, or Kotaro. You know, we're gonna figure that out. I'm not too sure though.
そうだね。
Yeah, we'll have to go to class and figure this one out. After waiting impatiently for classes to finish, we immediately run over to the bureau.
今朝倒れていた生徒はまだ意識が戻っていないそうです。
Oh, they haven't even woke up yet. Muko is already here and tells us about what she learned from
前の
Tsubaki-chan.
二人と同じだったら夜までは目が覚めないかな。
Sounds about right considering how long it took for Murakumo and Yoshida. Which means that we won't be able to ask him anything until
状
tomorrow
態
morning.
は村雲くんたちと非常に似通っているので、話を聞ける望みは
He won't remember anything, huh? We shouldn't rely on the testimonies of the victims. The string of victims is getting problematic. I think we should be investigating who they were around recently and what their schedule was. I think that would be a good idea, because that's kind of what we've done, is we tried to set up like a timeline of events and things like that. It doesn't seem like there's very long in between like somebody not seeing them and them disappearing and then later being knocked out.
そうですね。犯行のスパンが短くなるというのは危険な兆候です。
Yeah, I would have to agree. The frequency is increasing. Just a couple days ago, we were talking about how there was nothing happening, and we thought that was the end of it. We were naive. While we didn't want to end the case unfinished, we were careless.
でもなんで急に早くなったんだろう。何か急ぎたい理由でもできたのかな。
Yeah, that is a good point. Why is it the frequency changing? So we know the pattern. You know, they ended up in the infirmary. They're knocked out. They don't remember the past 3 days. I mean, it's been pretty consistent for the first two, and then this third one is in a different location, and it happened a lot sooner than the other two. Or at least it happened sooner than Yoshida, because, I mean, can't really say the first one happened sooner than anything else. I don't know. I had something I was going to say, and I can't remember. I was just going to say that they're talking about being naive. We didn't have any information to go on. It's not like you could have changed anything about your behavior and, you know, prevented something. Clearly changing up who we have in the location that we know it happens at. So, like, having people posted at the infirmary changes the location of where they end up feigning. I do think it's interesting that it's the courtyard. So I think the courtyard's interesting because that's a public location. So that's somewhere that somebody would be bound to find a body. Like if they were just knocked out, it's very obvious, I guess. I do think that is intentional by the ghost. Like I said, I think the ghost was intentionally putting them at the infirmary to get help. But now that they can't do that, they're going to a different location that someone will hopefully still be able to get them help soon.
警備が強化されたことで焦り始めたのかもしれません。
Yeah, I agree. Managed to outsmart us though, since he didn't do it where there were people on lookout. So you guys mentioned to me that in Japanese that there's not really a word for he or she. Because they keep referring to the ghost as a guy. And when I think of a guy, I think of a male, right? Sorry. But they keep saying he as well. I just wonder if that was like a bad translation. Because I don't think the ghost necessarily is a guy. I think it's a girl. But that's just me. I don't have anything to really base that off of. I think it is a girl. I'm just kind of waiting to see. He managed to outsmart us though, since he didn't do it when there was people on
今
lookout.
回も白いのは出てないの？
確認しましたが、今回も倒れていた生徒のそばには誰もいなかったそうです。周辺でも目撃情報はありません。
Well, yeah, they're not sticking around. Clearly, they don't want to be linked to it. I'm starting to believe that the guy in white who was beside Murakuma is unrelated to all of this.
たまたま通りかかっただけだったってこと？
I mean, I don't think I believe that, but... The first time we saw him, he was pretty much wandering around, too. Maybe he was curious as to why there was someone on the floor and went up to him.
関係ならなぜ逃げたのでしょう。
Well, I mean, we've already gone over this. Like, they're clearly covered up. They don't want anybody to know their identity. Might be imagining things, but her question sounded more like she was thinking aloud rather than directed at us. If I asked her about it now, she'd probably dodge the question. We already know the answer anyways. Didn't we say that it's because he didn't want to be seen or come into contact with others?
それなら逃げた理由は事件とは関係ないことになりますね。
Exactly, we covered that.
じゃああれは事件に関係なく勝手に学園に住み着いてる変な人かもしれないの？
Entirely possible, but I think that's unlikely.
そういった方がいるらしいといった話は聞いたことがありません。
Want to go ask the principal if she's letting a monster out to graze or something. I don't know if I should read into that more.
それなら事前にあれはペットだと説明があると思いますが。
Don't glare at me like that, I'm just kidding. It's only possible that he's not human, though.
まあ妖精はいたし人形も動いてたし。
That's true. And
いろ
monsters.
いろなものがいるようですが、その多くはミストの発動とともに現れています。
I mean, I think I did throw out a theory about it possibly being related to a mist. Wasn't too sure about that. We strayed away from the main topic and she's trying to steer us back on track.
ですが今回はそういった目撃証言は一切なく、ミストが使用された形跡もありません。
I'm still wondering if it's Ninomai. And that's the Ermine's name, right? It's Ninomai. I've been trying to remember. Because I remember last episode I was having such a difficult time remembering, and now I'm trying to remember today. I think it's Ninomai. I need to remember that name, because I feel like that Ermine, there's more to it. I did wonder if the Ermine was the hooded person. So if we think about it, they're both kind of, what, gray, whitish color scheme? The Ermine has, like, red eyes, but we haven't seen the ghost's eyes, so entirely possible. And like I said, it did tell on us that one time. I think it was in Tsubaki's route. It did tell on us. And the principal's like, oh, Ninomai. Like, oh, there's something over here? I don't know. That was just one crazy theory I had. I'm not too sure, though. And some of you guys, I was reading your comments, we're talking about maybe it's just someone we haven't met yet. That's entirely possible. I tend to like to look at the characters we do know and already have established and like see if there's anybody that looks suspect. Because most games tend to do that. They don't tend to bring in another character. It's usually someone you like trust or that you don't really have suspicion of, and they're like, oh yeah, actually they're the huge villain or something. Anyways, haven't been any sightings or traces of Mist. If Murokuma or Yoshida accidentally activated one, it would have gone out of control and created a huge mess, huh?
これまでのケースならそうなっているはずです。それにもう一つ。
Oh? Is Ushio gonna bring up something?
暴走させたミスト使用者は皆、一度倒れてしまうと、私たちがミストを封じるまで意識を失ったままでした。
That is true. Wouldn't that imply that they weren't the activator then?
あ、そっか。村雲先輩も吉田さんも次の日には目を覚ましてるね。
Okay, so I just said that it implies that they're not the activator. It's entirely possible they are the activator, but then that would imply that they're losing the mist afterwards because they're regaining consciousness. So they're using a mist, they're losing consciousness, and then the mist is going to somebody else. If that makes sense. So they're not still in possession of it. It's not still activated under them because they're waking up. It's not continually draining their mana. Murakumo senpai and Yoshida-san both woke up the next day. Murakumo did mention it when he woke up, that if it were a mist, then the victim would wake up at the same time as when someone stops the mist.
ですから彼らがミストを使用して混沌したとは考えにくいと思います。
Okay, Ushio, I think we're on the same page here. What could it be then? Some other magical tool? She shakes her head as if to say she doesn't know
リトさんに
either.
聞いてみましょう。今日は少し質問の仕方を変えます。
Yep, that's what you have to do with Rito. Have to change the way you ask things. Walking past rows of bookshelves, we find Rito-san in her usual spot, blending in with her surroundings. She's looking up at the shelf while running her fingers along the spine of a bulky book.
リトさん、
I like how this is all Rito does. She's just looking at books and she's just looking all cute, you know, like holding her book and stuff. That's all she does. She doesn't even go to class, doesn't even eat, doesn't go to the bathroom. Just is in the library the entire day. Just here, standing so that they can have this CG of her. As Rito's eyes are reading the title, Muko calls out to her. Actually, no, didn't we see her one time outside the library? I think we did. Her gaze relaxes for a second upon seeing us. But she's pretty much the definition of an NPC to me. Like, we just kind of come to her for information. And that's about it. Doesn't have a route. Doesn't get too much backstory. Anyways, I'm gonna stop poking at Rito. I'm not saying anything bad about her character. I do like her, but it's just funny to me. Her gaze relaxes for a second upon seeing us. However, it quickly becomes serious again as she realizes that something has happened.
何かしら。また被害者が出ました。
Like I said, I think there is a theory. You could say that she's the ghost. I don't know how plausible that is. I'm just kind of, like I said, poking at everybody that we know. I'm like, you could be the ghost. You could be the ghost. You're all the ghost. This is just a big prank on me. It's been another victim. Troubled by the word another, Rita lowers the end of her eyebrows. I'm sure that even she's getting disturbed by the chain
今
of
度は
events.
3年生の男子なのですが、校庭に倒れていたそうです。それ以外の状況はこれまでの2件とほぼ同じで。
Muko briefly explains the current case to Rito. I do think there is a possibility that Rito could be the ghost. Now that I think about it, yeah. Could be her. Not too sure. I feel like she would maybe have a connection to the principal, and it's definitely not one we would notice, because we don't see Rito much outside of the library. She's always there during the day. I don't think we ever really try to talk to her at night too much. I'm gonna keep an eye on her as a suspect. I feel bad saying suspect, because it's like I'm implying they're a criminal. I don't think the ghost is a criminal, or at least they're not intentionally being one. I think they're just kind of being forced to play along with this. So I don't really want to say like they're a suspect, but I do think that she may be involved. Maybe. She's definitely a character we don't know enough about, and she could play a different role. Muko briefly explains the current case to Rito.
そこで質問があります。仮にミストの仕業ではないと仮定して、このような状態になる現象に何か心当たりがありますか？完全に一致しなくても似た事例でも構いません。
混沌外傷はなし。数日分の記憶の消失。翌日になれば目覚める。 そうね。本人の能力以上の大量の潜在魔力を瞬時に消費すると、そのような状態になるかもしれないわ。
So without a mist, how are they expending that much mana? What's causing them to do that? Because I'm assuming it's not intentional. I'm assuming it's someone drawing it out of them.
記憶まで消えてしまうこともあるのですか？
自分の持つ魔力の容量を一瞬で超えるようなことがあればね。ショックでそうなることはありえるわ。
After the shock they receive, huh? One with such a large amount of mana, okay, I don't like the way they worded that. When with such a large amount of mana would be needed?
例えば、強力な魔力を必要とする魔術的に序列が高いミストを使用する。
Okay, purely based on what she's saying right now, I'm gonna throw out another theory. You guys probably love my theories, don't you? Anyways, I think that someone is trying to find somebody who has enough mana to activate a certain mist or a certain spell, and that's why there's so many victims, and that's why they keep having the same symptoms, you know, like they keep fainting because they don't have enough mana. So somebody is trying to find someone who has enough. And with that being said, does Ushio have a lot of mana? I think she does. If that's the case, and considering we're kind of moving into Ushio's route and she's an important character, I have a feeling they're going to try to kidnap her next. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think it's going to be somebody who has a lot of mana. So I'm thinking that's going to be Ushio or maybe some... It could be Kotaro. Yeah, because Kotaro actually has a lot of mana. So it's either going to be like Ushio or Kotaro, like one of those two. I think they're looking for someone who has a lot of mana to activate something for them. Neither Murakuma nor Yoshida showed any trace of having used a mist, right?
そうね。見当たらないわ。
Would they show any traces if the mist technically didn't activate because they didn't reach a certain threshold? Probably finds that strange as well and tilts her head.
その魔力の大量消費ですが、ミストを使用した場合のみですか？
Would only users of mist consume a large amount of mana?
他の人物に使われたミストのせいで混沌し記憶を失うということは？
記憶を操作するミストは確かにあるわ。だけど、被害者たちの様子を聞く限り、使用者の状態に思えるわ。
じゃあ誰かが先輩たちにミストだって言わずに使わせて気絶させて、すぐミストを止めて回収してったとか？
Yeah, Kataro's actually had some bright observations lately. I'm not like saying he was dumb before or anything or that he wasn't accurate. I guess I've just been noticing lately, like he's kind of had similar thoughts to me. Stopped immediately after though. That requires sealing it, right? Even if the activator is unconscious, the mist would still be operating.
ミストによるでしょう。ヤヌスの鍵はフラヤマチさんの手を離れた時点で彼女でなくても使えました。
Yeah. That's true. Ones like that could be easily retrieved after Murakuma or Yoshida fainted. My question is, though, what kind of mist would they be trying to activate? They could technically... So I was kind of running out of the assumption that they're failing to do it, and that's why they're taking such a toll. Maybe they're succeeding in whatever they're doing. But maybe it's like a one-time use that's causing people to faint because they just don't have enough mana. I'm just wondering what kind of mist it would be. What would their goal be here in the end? Rito interjects after listening to our conversation for a little while. I could see it being a mist that maybe collects... Excuse me, that collects mana. Like something that kind of like builds up power over time. I could see maybe that being the case. So like each time someone uses it, it like takes your mana, but obviously it's taking like way too much for anybody to be able to function after that, and then it's having these side effects. Just I don't know. It interjects after listening to the conversation for a little while.
ただ、それほど強力なミストが使われたとなると、 もっと大きな怪異が起きても良さそうなものなの。
Not necessarily, because there's that other world, right? I think that other world is technically physically close in a way, like maybe the way you access it, but it's not technically a part of this world. It could be the same kind of situation as the Night Realm, you know, where it's kind of a part of ours, but it somehow like connects every once in a while. And the Key of Janus like essentially counts it as being pretty close by, so you don't have to use so much mana. Even if we're sealed the instant after it's activated. I just think it's in a location where we're not seeing the effects of it being activated.
記憶を失うほどの魔力ですもの。発動する力も大きいはずよ。
確かにそんな大量の魔力を使うんならもっと派手なことになってそうかも。
そうですね。今のところミストが使用された形跡すら見当たらないのですから。
That's just what I want to know. Like, would you be able to trace something if it's not technically happening in the school per se, if it's happening in this other world? I think it's a virtual world. I'm not too sure about that. But this other fantasy world that we've been to. I mean...
消費された大量の魔力はどこへ消えてしまったのか。
Maybe it's being stored somewhere. There is something that consumes lots of mana. Being stored somewhere. I think technically the first one could be true. I don't know if it's necessarily being stored though. I think there's something that consumes a lot of mana. I'm just gonna go with that.
どこに？
I point out where I'm currently standing, the school.
はあ、そっか。
私もそう思います。夜の世界への変貌。あれは壮大な魔術ではないのですか？
Huh. That's an interesting theory. So... Okay. So the school transforming requires a lot of mana and it's drawing it from students? I still think someone's causing that to happen. I wonder if this is like a big plot to turn like the whole school into night or something, you know? It's kind of like why it's the borderline of Dusk. You know, it's about nighttime. Okay.
あれはおそらく繊細で綿密な仕掛けのしてある高等な魔術よ。私は詳細は知らないけれど。
Interesting, interesting. Okay, this is going in a direction I wasn't picturing. I pictured the spectacle that occurs when the bell in the clock tower chimes. The amount of mana required for the mists we've dealt with so far wouldn't even hold a candle to what something like that would need.
今までのミストと同じように夜の世界を呼び込むために代償として魔力が支払われているのなら、その大量の魔力は誰がどこで消費しているのでしょう。
It's the principal. I don't know, I'm just pointing at authority. Rito shakes her head without a second thought.
それは私にもわからない。
Even Rito sounds clueless,
ここ
huh?
にはそれを記述してある本はないの。
We're surrounded by huge bookshelves. Rito turns to scan all of them. There's nothing about it in this massive collection of books. What in the world is the realm of night then? Despite getting used to it, it's more absurd than all of the things in the school combined.
私が把握しているのはこの天秤瑠璃学園の創立者ラズリットが残した遺品について。この図書館の蔵書も遺品の一部なの。
I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised if there's myths that not even she knows about.
それ以外のことはわからないから答えられないわ。
そうですか。
I'm surprised that the Night Realm actually falls into that latter category. Is it because it's something fundamentally different from myths and of a much larger scale? But if the Night Realm really is something so grand, doesn't that mean there's something massive making it work behind the
あれだけ
scenes?
の現象を引き起こすなら
Then isn't the school being one huge magical contraption a trail that we could follow? We thought that the infirmary might have had something since it was where the first two incidents took place, but if considering the entire place...
保健室とか校庭とか敷地内だったら場所は関係ないってこと？
Yes. That's what I'm thinking. Something like they're slowly sucking out the man of every student here.
怖いこと言わないでよ、ミッチー。
Muko cast her eyes downward as if ruminating what I said. She soon turns her line of sight back to Rito.
そういった記録、この学園が建てられた当時の記録はないのですか？
もちろんあるわ。でもこの学園は20年ほど前に一度大きな事故があって建て替えられているの。
Ah, that's suspicious. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the case, though.
それで改装されたことがあると。
Thinking back, Rito did mention this when Muko was investigating the infirmary, so we should be looking into the records for when it was rebuilt.
そのため建物自体が昔の記録と大きく変わってしまっているの。だから私にも今の学園の状態はよくわからないのよ。
確かに調べさせてもらった地図も改装前のものだけでしたね。
So the contents of those reports aren't going to match up with what we see today. But if Rito doesn't know, then would it be better if we ask the principal instead? That's literally what I've wanted you to do, like, forever. Because, I mean, the principal's clearly involved in this. I mean, from my perspective, she is. From their perspective, probably not. But she seems likely to know when I say that. Muko looks at me with contempt.
君は本当に現状把握能力が不足していますね。
What? I think that's a perfectly genuine thing to do. There's something wrong with asking the principal.
いえ、君の提案自体は素晴らしいと思いますよ。ただ残念ながら学園長は今出張中です。
What? How was I supposed to know that? A business trip?
以前に告知が来たはずですが、もう数日は戻られませんよ。
Was there an announcement? That sounds vaguely familiar. My memory's just terrible, so I probably wouldn't know.
出張って村雲先輩が倒れるより前から？
Yeah, why is the principal gone when there are students literally collapsing? I think this is a kind of a problem.
そうです。ですから、学園長はこの騒ぎをまだご存知ないかもしれません。
Not necessarily. There's nothing we can do about it, but of all the times for her to be away. Oh gosh, that scared me. I thought she just appeared out of nowhere. She's the biggest mystery of them all. She doesn't look her age, so how old exactly is she? For that matter, is she even human? I've questioned the same things. I wouldn't be surprised if she's older than she looks, for sure. Does she hold actual conversations with that in her mind? Now we're doing some real investigative journaling here. Okay, I like this. We're asking the real questions. Everything's being kept in the dark.
どうしよう。やっぱり手がかりなしだよね。
The option of asking the principal is gone, so in the end, all we're left with is... we break into her office. Perfect. I like it. Probably won't do us any good, but how about we keep patrolling? I'd hate it if we leave it alone and something
今回だ
happens.
け現場が違ったことも気になります。
Yeah, let's go take a look at the courier just to be safe.
では、リトさん、ありがとうございました。
いいえ、いつでも来てくれるといいわ。
Leave the library after showing Rito our gratitude. Yeah, I don't know if Rito would be the ghost. It might just be entirely possible it's Matsuki or whoever that is, and it's just a different character we haven't technically seen before yet. I don't know. I just like to throw out theories. I like to guess who it could be, if for nothing else to eliminate them as a suspect. I still think it's entirely possible it could be her. I just don't think it's likely. Exiting the building, we see that it's already twilight outside. In mere minutes, night will fall. Courtyard is deserted. All the students have already returned to the dorms. I mean, does nobody find it suspicious that, you know, when night's falling and stuff, all the students have to go back? We have to make sure nobody, like, knows what's going on. Like, it's like this secretive thing. And now we're finding out it's maybe connected to why students are feigning. You know, nothing weird about that to anybody. Courtyard is deserted and all the students have already
こ
returned to the
の
dorms.
辺りだと聞いています。
Muko points out where the third incident took place. As expected, there are no signs of it happening. Surveying the area, I noticed that while the courtyard is close to the building, it's a wide open area. Suspicious activity would be caught instantly. Not necessarily. He was found in the morning that couldn't have happened the evening
それ
before.
じゃあ夜の生徒に見つかるんじゃない？
それ以前に風紀委員の放課後の見回りで発見されているでしょう。昼の生徒だったわけですから。
Alright, you're not allowed to leave the dorms once you've gone back. But maybe he did.
それはまず不可能です。夜の世界になった後、寮は厳重に戸締まりされて出られません。
Yeah, it's forbidden, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. It's to ensure there's no chance of a regular student wandering into the night realm. Otherwise, you get curious like Kirodani trying to sneak
って
out.
ことは倒れてた人って朝早くここに来て被害に遭ったってこと？
That's the only way. There's always students who arrive early because they're on duty for some other reason. If it was completely empty in the mornings, then your hypothesis about having the victim touch a mist
ま
could
だ
work.
登校する生徒も少ない時間帯だったようですから、可能でしょう。ミストを使ったとすればですが。
I mean, I could see Yoshida and Shizuka both being punctual people, maybe being people that would get up early and want to be to certain places. I guess you could say that, but I don't think it was necessarily in the morning that it happened with each of them. So I guess that wouldn't be consistent as far as that. I don't know. I'm just like, please give me more to go off of here. Like, we're just like poking around. We're really like circling the answer. And I'm just like, let's just go to the middle and find the answer. Takes another look at our surroundings. Her long shadow extending from her feet matches her movements and changes in angle. Her gaze, intent on not missing even the most minor details, stops on a window that can't be seen through due to the glare of the setting sun.
今回に限り校庭だったのは、やはり保健室前に見張りが立ったからでしょうか。
Okay, yeah, I mean, I kind of said that already. The other side of the window is the infirmary, the location where Murakumo and Yoshida collapsed. There are probably still disciplinary committee members and teachers standing guard there just in case. Yeah, the culprit doesn't care where it takes place, or perhaps it wasn't worth the effort to force his way in.
ミッチーが言ってた学園中が魔術施設っていうのが当たってたらどこでもいいわけだもんね。
A place that's hidden away and without any people is all he
それで
wants.
場所ではなく犯行時刻を人目の少ない時間に移したということですか。
She seems to be thinking the same thing, and there's a tone of agreement in her
被害
voice.
者の人は何か用があって朝早く来たのかな？それとも犯人に呼び出されたとか？
If it were the latter, then why was he selected to be a
そ
victim?
うですね。村雲くんとも吉田さんともこれといった接点がある人ではなさそうでした。
Like I said before, I think the requirement is they have a lot of mana. Obviously, they don't have enough because clearly this thing takes a lot of mana. But maybe just having a good amount of mana is ideal. Worst case scenario, he's just picking at random. I mean, that's entirely possible too, but I don't think that's the case.
誰でもいいから記憶を消したり気絶させたりしてるってこと？
Like I said, I think it has to be someone that has a lot of mana, so I would assume it's not random. His voice starts trembling from my remark. It's something I really don't want to consider, and I'm starting to feel queasy.
対象が誰でもいいという可能性は残念ながらありますね。
You could just be doing all this for fun. No, I don't think
そ
so.
うでないことを祈ります。
Muttering that, she
戻
turns
りましょう。
around.
夜が来ます。
Can we absolutely not stay out at night when night's falling? I feel like the night falling is kind of an answer to some of our questions. The bell in the clock tower chimes the moment we step into the school building, and then the realm of night appears. Night realm students laugh and talk merrily as we walk past them, headed for the bureau.
読者だ。おはよ
Ohio. Yes, finally, we're getting back to the good characters. Turning to face the voice calling out to us from behind, we see Aiba Kumiko senpai and Shichiban
お
Hina
はようござ
senpai.
います。
う。読者分室の皆さん、おはようございます。
Good morning, even though it's night. Hina-san bows and returns Muko's greeting while Aiba-san takes a look at all
ど
of
うか
us.
したの？みんな揃って。
いえ、こちらでは何か変わったことは起きていませんよね。
変わったこと？なんだいそれ？
知りません？
ひなも
All the victims have been day students. It doesn't seem like the news has reached the students of the night realm.
実は廊下で気を失って倒れていた人がいたもので。へ
え、なんか物騒だね。
Iva-san's usual energetic expression all but disappears when she hears of the grave situation.
なぜ倒れていたのですか？
それがわからなくて調査中なんです。
そっか、大変だね。頑張ってください。
ねえ、ありがとうございます。
Could be her, too. She's kind of a quiet person. I think the ghost is pretty quiet, so. First bell rings, the two upperclassmen wave goodbye and proceed to their classrooms. Hey, since all three of the victims were day students, do you think that the culprit doesn't know about the night realm?
私も今、そのことについて考えていました。
Doesn't know about the night realm, huh? Looks out the window. I want to say that theory is plausible because I think they're working with the principal, and the principal could be keeping that in the dark from them. They might just be gathering students not knowing what necessarily is happening to them or for what purpose their mana is being drained. And it could be to fuel the night realm. Looks out the window, the pale moon shines amidst the pitch black scenery.
夜の世界の存在を知らないのか、それとも夜の生徒は犯人が行いたい目的にそぐわない理由でもあるのか。
Not fit for his purposes. You mentioned that it'd be hard for a regular student who's already gone back to the dorms to wander around in the evening, right? Should we more or less eliminate the first possibility?
そうですね。では、犯人が夜の生徒を狙わないのはなぜでしょう。
If a crime were committed in the evening after all the students go back to the dorm, it's not like the night realm won't appear. It automatically happens once the bell in the clock tower rings. Then what about... What would happen if a night realm student faded in the same way? It'd be morning by the time they woke up, wouldn't it? For Murakuma and Yoshida, it took about half a day for them to regain consciousness. If a student fainted during the night, then it would be past the start of classes for the day students by the time they woke up.
そうなりますね。
Will they wake up in our world, or will they disappear along with the
わ
night
かり
realm?
ません。そういった前例はないはずなので。
Yeah, there's just so much we don't know about the night realm. Like, it's just kind of this anomaly that we kind of, like, acknowledge exists, but not really, like, examined, or we don't really know too much about it. He explains how a night realm student, whether asleep or awake, being in the academy during the day is unprecedented. All of them leave in the same manner as when they arrived. Guessing that the culprit doesn't know either, and he doesn't want to
予
take the
測
risk.
不可能な出来事を避けるため、ありえますね。慎重に姿を見られないようにしている犯人ですから、危険な賭けはしなさそうです。
っていうかさ、
After listening to our conversation, Amaro starts speaking
単
meekly.
にかわいそうだからじゃないかな。
Confused, I can't say anything other than that.
夜の生徒は朝になってこっちに取り残されちゃうんだったらかわいそうだろ。
I mean, wouldn't they just be able to go back once night comes around? I understand what he's trying to say, but I'm still speechless. It makes sense if someone like Furia were trapped in a weird world they'd never seen before all alone, they'd probably start panicking and crying. Definitely feel sorry for them, but... Never thought about it that way before. Finally managed to say something, and then Amaro looks shocked and grows
あ
flustered.
の、おかしい？
No, it's a valid point.
いえ、ありえない話ではないかと。
じゃあなんでそんな微妙な顔なの？
It's not really awkward per se. She looks surprisingly relaxed. I can't help but force a smile. Sounds like something you'd come
ど
up
う
with.
いう意味だよ？
It's nothing. It's possible if the culprit's that guy in
な
white.
ぜです？
Seriousness returns to her face. He seemed pretty good-hearted when I met him, at least. None of the victims suffered any injuries, so maybe that's his way of being considerate. She's keeping a straight face, but I get the feeling that I've caught a glimpse of something that she's trying to hide.
あの、別に俺に気を使ってくれてるんだったら聞かなかったことにしてくれれば。
いえ、参考になりました。
そうなの？
ええ。
Nodding, her expression seemingly takes on a smile again before returning to her usual
今日
demureness.
はもう引き上げましょう。
Oprah doesn't seem to act during the night. We'd only realize the naivety of our thinking the next morning. Oh, done. Okay. I'm really hoping more happens this episode, because I mean,
みーくん、
we're 45 minutes in, and I was expecting to really like delve into the mystery after the third time, but apparently the fourth time is gonna be maybe when we find something. Oh, Sabaki-chan, how you doing? How you doing? Back at the dorms, running into Sabaki-chan in the hallway. She's still wearing her uniform, so she probably only just got back as well. Hey, were you still patrolling? Be careful not to overwork yourself, okay?
そちらこそ
She giggles and shakes her hair. She then suddenly looks at me full of worry.
みーくん、君はこの事件をどう思う？
Huh?
私には犯人のやりたいことがさっぱり見えてこないんだ。
She sounds like she's reaching the limits of her endurance, the increasing number of victims, not to mention that the first one was her partner. Her patience is wearing thin much faster than ours. Same applies to us. It's just, don't beat yourself up over it. I try to say that as lightheartedly as I can. We've been doing all this patrolling, but it's not like we haven't seen results. The culprit's actions changed this time, which means that he's starting to run out of options. Don't think that all of this has been for naught. Listening until the end of what I had to say, she cheers up.
ありがとう、みーくん。君にそう言ってもらえると少し疲れが取れた気がするよ。
I can tell that she said that in order to not cause me worry. However, I'm sure that I can say the same thing to her. No problem. Well, good night.
おやすみ。
You too. Okay, why are we being naive? Let's get to that. Let's not have this side conversation. I want to get into the meat of this story here. Her words are full of implications, however, it definitely did brighten my day. I mean, yes, seeing Tsubaki does brighten my day as well. Seeing her off with a smile and waving goodbye, I returned to my room. I better get to sleep soon. Really? That's all we're gonna do? We're just gonna have this little side conversation, you know, talk about things we already know. Just to comfort her a little bit, I guess. Oh, maybe it's because of our fruitless patrolling, but I haven't been sleeping well lately. I also get the feeling that I haven't been having the most pleasant of dreams either, but thankfully I don't remember them after I wake up. I think I once heard that dreams which you forget upon waking up usually contain bad omens, but I'll pretend I didn't know about that. Giving a yawn as I leisurely roll out of bed and get myself dressed. Left empty-handed yesterday too. I wonder what's going to happen today. I'm worried about the increase in frequency of these attacks, mainly because we haven't made much progress, but if it keeps accelerating like this, we're pretty screwed. Finish changing and hear frantic knocking at my door.
起きているか？
Ooh, are Sabaki and I gonna, like, figure out something together? She sounds flustered, so I rush to open the door. Sorry, I'm having trouble clearing my throat today. Sabaki-chan is standing outside looking extremely tense. I don't think she's here to say good morning.
朝からすまない。実はまた
Another victim.
まだ見つかっていないんだ。
Haven't been able to find him? What do you mean? She continues talking while still looking confused.
寮の部屋から生徒がいなくなったんだ。
Okay. From his room?
今朝、友達が誘いに行ったら返事がなくて、扉にも鍵がかかっていたんだそうだ。
Okay. So that friend went to notify Tsubaki-chan since she's on the disciplinary committee and has a master key.
私もノックして声をかけてみたが、全く反応がなくてな。心配になって開けてみたら、誰もいなかった。
Well, that's good. You didn't walk in on another person taking a shower. Empty. Was the window
窓
open?
も扉も鍵は閉まっていた。部屋の中から忽然と消えてしまったとしか思えないんだ。
The thin air, huh? He disappeared from inside a locked room. A locked room mystery? Ooh, it's a murder mystery. Is this related to the fainting incidents we're dealing with? No, I'm just kidding. This isn't Danganronpa. There's no murder mysteries here. If so, then that means the culprit can kidnap people from a locked room. What the hell? I'm suddenly reminded of the white ghost that was standing beside Murakumo when he collapsed. If it's him, then he could probably enter a locked room.
どう考えても異常事態だから、君たち特殊事案調査分室にも知らせておくべきかと思い。
I like how, like, Ushio is probably, like, the head of the bureau. I feel like she's probably the most responsible and, you know, she's probably been there the longest. But, like, she comes and tells me instead. Thanks, that's our specialty, alright.
Miru-san! Miru-san!
Oh, did we find them? Loud footsteps approach us as the originator calls out to Sparky-chan. He's another disciplinary committee member. I've seen him a few times
ああ、
before.
ここだ。どうした？
He points towards the school building.
見つかりました。学園の廊下に倒れていたそうです。
学園にいたのか？
A student who disappeared, you mean?
付近全員で探していたんだ。すまない。私は先に行くよ。
Got it. She leaves with her fellow team member, kidnapped from his room, huh? If the same guy doing this, wasn't he supposed to be okay with any random person he found? I appreciate it if we could at least eliminate the possibility of him doing it for kicks. It'll be late if I stay here thinking about this. I'll head over there too. Putting on my blazer and grabbing my shoes, I dash out of my room. Yeah, so I definitely think they're using the key of Janice. I mean, that's the only way they could be getting into a locked room, right? Because they would just come in through the door.
だって？
そうそう、捕まると記憶を食べられちゃうらしいよ。
Gosh, are they saying it's a monster or something?
夕方に出るってやつだよね。
そう、あの白い幽霊。時計
Interesting.
塔に住んでいるんだって。それでね、あの時計塔にはね、入り口がどこにもないの。
It's a bat.
じゃあ、あの鐘とかどうやって鳴らしてた？
だからあそこにはあの幽霊が住んでて、幽霊が毎日鐘を鳴らしてるの。
Interesting theory.
やだ、もう絶対一人になれないよ。
That's probably for the best.
今朝の被害者で4人目。校内ではすっかりあの白い幽霊の犯行だということになってしまっている。
You mean that guy in white brought Yoshida
今
here?
回も白いのは現れてないのかな？
そんなことはない。そんなはずはない。だってムツキは彼女のいる場所につながれば、私はただそれだけを。ここは分室？
Ruka, what's wrong?
まさか君は？
Okay, well, can we get into this? I mean, I'm glad we're finally talking about this more.
あなたは本当にムツキなの？ならばなぜ私に答えてくれなかったの？私のことがわからなかった。いえ、ムツキに私がわからないはずがない。
You know, Ushio, it'd be nice if you, like, explain this to everybody what's going on so we could, like, have a better understanding.
牛さんのもーちゃん。もーちゃんって嫌かな？私ね、牛さんって可愛いから好きだよ。
We're actually gonna, like, hear from this?
ではなくて、なぜ名前をそんな風に、自分の好きなもののように呼ぶのかって聞いて。
もーちゃん、でもいい？
いいよ。
もーちゃん、今ちょっと危なかったよ。ちゃんと周り見てるの？
ごめんなさい。
違うの。心配してるの。そういうもーちゃんも可愛いかもしれないけど、怪我はダメだよ。
I like the voice change indicating that it's, like, a little bit more of a grown-up Natsuki.
今のどこが可愛いと？
あ、そうそう。そういえばね、この間もーちゃんが気にしてたことなんだけど。
何か意見があるのなら聞かせて。
でも本当につまらないことだよ。ちゃんと役に立ててるのかな？
立ててる？あなたの考え方はとても独創性があるから、いつだってあなたの一言が私にひらめきをくれるの。
本当？ならよかった。
学園？そんな山奥に？
I like that we're actually getting, like, a better view of some of these CGs, because this was, like, kind of had, like, a filter over it now, and I think we can actually, like, see it pretty clearly.
でもね、とっても面白そうなところなんだよ。
大丈夫なの？なんだか
どうしたの？
怖い。
もうちゃんは心配性だな。
実は聞いたことがあるの。その魔術がどうとかそんな噂があるんでしょ。
I'm not used to hearing Ushio sound like so worried. She sounds very naive. I'm wondering if whatever happened with Mutsuki kind of changed her in a way. She seems like a more serious person than she is with her.
そう、ただの噂かもしれない。だけどどうしてそんなところに。
もうちゃん鋭いから本当に何かありそうな気がしてきちゃったな。
ムツキ。
でも大丈夫。もうちゃんが心配してくれてるの分かったもの。
ね、どうして。何かあってからでは遅いのよ。
気をつける。
どうしても行くの。
うん、ごめんね。どうしてもそこに行ってみなきゃいけないの。私どうしてもごめんね、もっちゃん。
そうか。
ちゃんと手紙も書くよ。離れちゃうけど何も変わらないみたいに私たち。
ムツキが決めたことなら私は応援する。
Such a relaxed face compared to how she usually is.
ありがとう、もっちゃんならそう言ってくれると思ってた。
でも気をつけて。私にとってムツキは何より大事な友達だから。
知ってるよ。だから心配かけたくないし。約束。
ムツキ。
私もうちゃんに心配かけない。
I'm guessing that's what ended up happening. She ended up worrying about her.
ムツキ、あなたが突然消えてしまって。だから私ここまで探しに来たのに。事件を調査する組織を作ってたくさん魔術のことを勉強して、なのにますますわからなくなってしまった。
It's nice that we're learning more about Ushio's motives and like kind of why she ended up at the school.
あなたは今どこにいるの。何をしているの。無事なの。やっぱり私。
I don't know, it almost sounds like maybe she was more than friends with her. I'm not too sure about that though. I wonder if there's any meaning in that little transition screen. It says return to Ley-Line. Now, we could just assume like, oh, okay, we're returning back to the main perspective, but it almost makes it sound like it's a place that we need to like go back to. Like it's gonna be something later on that we're gonna have to like, I don't know. I think there's more meaning to that, but I'm not too sure. After classes tomorrow night, head over to the bureau. Luko's not here yet. I know, like, it's already been an hour, but like, I want to keep going because I want answers to what's going on. I'm like, should I just make another episode? I was really hoping this was the episode we found out some more information. I mean, we have found out stuff for sure, but it's really, like, dragging. I really wanted to be further along than we are. The usual seat is empty. I don't see her bag either, so she's probably still on her way.
そのうち来るんじゃない？今朝の事件のことは多分知ってるだろうし。
Yeah, maybe she's talking to someone from the disciplinary committee. As we chat and wait, there isn't the slightest hint of her coming. She's taking her time.
珍しいね。被害者の人のところにでも行ってるのかな。3番目の人はもう起きてるはずだよね。
And she didn't take us with
す
her.
ねないでよ。ぞろぞろ言っても仕方ないし、いいじゃん。
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be able to listen in on the conversation and kind of get an idea of what happened. At least a timeline of things. Maybe ask some of the victim's friends. I had to go first to visit the victim after having heard that she's woken up. Sounds like, after he's woken up, sounds like something she would do. I'm getting worried that something else might have happened when she's taking this long.
牛尾さん。
Oh, you're finally here. After much waiting, Muko arrives. However, her expression is much more strained than normal.
昨日混沌した3人目の被害者なんですが。
Did you know them? Third year, right? Have you talked to him yet? I guess that's the reason why she's late. Or so I
いえ、
thought.
それがまだ 意識が戻らないそうです。
Ah, so them not regaining consciousness within the same amount of time definitely is different.
戻らないって、もう丸一日経ってるのに。
眠ったままだそうです。
I mean, could that be implying that the burden that was on them was higher? I mean, I don't know. Voice restrained with unease. He still hasn't woken up after all this time, but why? Is there something different from what happened to Murakumo and
わかりませ
Yoshida?
ん。潜在魔力の差ということなのかもしれませんし。
Okay, so we are exploring that possibility. So people with less mana will take longer to wake up,
で
you
すが
mean?
それは被害者が何らかのミストで魔力を消費していた場合です。彼らが倒れた原因すら分かっていませんから。
And not only are they fainting, they're even
今朝の
disappearing
件です
now.
ね。
Yeah, he suddenly vanished from
見
inside
つ
his
かったの
room.
は確か学園の廊下だったと聞いていますが、
I was told it was the same. I quickly repeat what Tsubaki-chan
それ
said
で
to
は
me.
今回もやはり一連の事件とつながっているということですか。
部屋にまで入ってくるって怖いね。
The room was locked, too.
密室状態の室内から人一人連れ去るなど普通ではありません。
You think it's the work of a mist? I asked her in a confident tone. She answers me, having seemingly figured out.
この件は例えばあのミストがあれば可能です。
It's the pocket watch. Obviously. No, it's the doll. It's the key of Janus.
ええ、ヤヌスの鍵です。
そっか、あれなら鍵かかってても関係ないね。
むしろ部屋の前まで行く必要すらありませんから。
If I remember correctly, the key would allow him to go directly
そ
into
の
the
後
room.
被害者は学園内で発見されたのでしょう。
Yeah, in a hallway, the culprit could have opened a door from there to the victim's room early in the morning, then dragged him through it. Maybe he's been using that key from the start, which would explain why we've rarely seen him.
じゃあ犯人はあの鍵を持ってて使える人ってこと？
そうと決まったわけではありませんが、ヤヌスの鍵がどうなっているか確認はしておいた方がいいでしょうね。
So I've been saying the key of Janus, but it sounds like she pronounces it the key of Janus. Should I be pronouncing it that way as well? Hopefully I'm not peeving anybody. I know, for me especially, and for some other people I'm sure, like, mispronouncing things probably bothers them. My first guess would be the principal. The fairy had stolen it and Furia had picked it up, and after that it should have been brought back to the
学園長
principal.
って出張にもあの鍵持っていくのかな？
わかりませんが、貴重なものですから肌身離さずでも不思議はありません。
She's probably more cautious now after the fairy took it. The other option would be that guy in
そうで
white.
すね。
The ghost takes the key dangling from its neck and inserts it into the door's keyhole.
つながった。
It'll take us back to our world. He had a key that looked and operated similarly to the key of Janus. I saw it with my own two eyes. Maybe that's why I was reminded of him when Tsubaki-chan was telling me about it.
廊下で消えた時もあの鍵を使って逃げてたのかな？
All the classrooms there are sliding doors, so you can still use it without having a
使
keyhole to
え
put
る
it
はずで
into.
す。ただ、私が追った時もそうですが、相当な早技だと思いますが。
I'm trying to remember, did we confirm that you can't just, like, imagine that you're turning it into a door and do it that way? You'll insert the key, turn the door, and open the door that appears, enter, and then close it. That seems pretty hard to do in a short period of time unless you're used to it.
もし慣れてるとしたらあの鍵でいつも移動してるくらい頻繁に使ってる人？
Yeah, I think so. They'd have to have a lot of mana, too, because apparently it's pretty draining. I don't know how much the principal uses it, but I can see that guy in white
ミッ
using
チ
it
ー
a
の
lot.
財布届けるのもあれできたくらいだもんね。
He's definitely suspicious, but he returned my wallet, so he can't be a bad guy, right? I still can't figure out what the culprit's
今朝
trying
部
to
屋から
do.
いなくなった人も村雲先輩たちとは特に関係ない人だよね。
強いて言うなら、全員が私たちと同じ東寮の人間ということくらいですか。
Okay, that is a lead.
ねえ、西寮の生徒は誰も被害者になっていません。
Do you think that the two dorms are related to
なん
this
と
whole
も
thing?
言えませんね。もともと西寮は東より生徒が少ないですし。
無差別に襲ってたら単純に人の多い東寮の生徒ばっかりになっちゃったってこと？
Okay, yeah. It could be that he's more familiar with that dorm.
ですが、部屋から連れ去ったとなると、 無差別ではない気がします。
Yeah, it's not like he's just watching someone walk by and then kidnapping them. Like that has to be very intentional. He has to know where they are, or at least he just picked a room at random. And using that key and choosing a room at random to enter would be too risky. Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to point it out. He could be doing that.
同意です。ここまで痕跡を残していない犯人のやることにしては大雑把すぎます。
適当に指定した部屋がミッチーの部屋でした。
Even if it weren't mine, there are a bunch of people on the disciplinary committee who could easily handle someone suddenly appearing in their room. Ignoring the dangers of ending up in the room with someone like that would attract attention. Seems like he's acting while knowing who's living in which room. But, well, it strikes me odd that he so openly changed the way he's doing things. Up until now, he's moving during times and places where there are fewer people, which made catching him trickier. We weren't able to tell he was using the key of Yanis before, but now that he's doing something that's normally impossible...
犯人の方も焦ってるのかな。
警備の隙をついて見つからず犯行を繰り返す手段がなくなったということでしょう。それから連日の騒ぎで一人きりになる生徒が減ったということも考えられます。
I guess the disciplinary committee and our patrolling these several days have had some effect at least. It's great that our efforts haven't completely gone to waste, but it still hurts that we haven't produced any real results. Lose track of time as we're talking, the sun's already set. The bell at the clock tower chimes up above. It's already night. Our conversation is interrupted by the arrival of night, and for several minutes each of us is deep in thought. A reserved knock breaks the silence in the room. The door opens and Tsubaki-chan pops her head in.
あ、ミブ先輩。
Something else happened. Her unusually depressed expression gives me a bad feeling, but it disappears once she shakes her head in response to my question.
事件ではないんだが。
どうしたのです？
You have a theory. He sighs dejectedly.
その話を聞いてくれないだろうか。
Tsubaki, now is not the time to be asking about boys, okay? If you like Shizuka, just ask him out. Just do it.
特差分室で扱うような現象が起きたということですか？
Yes, she's fallen in love.
すまない。そういうことでもない。
Uka looks at Tsubaki-chan curiously as she apologizes. Take a seat, Tsubaki-chan. We'll hear you out.
いいのか？
We'll do it as friends, then it doesn't matter if it's related to what the Bureau normally does, right? She nods over and over again, looking relieved, and sits down on the guest sofa.
村上かな？やめてしまった。
Oh shit, okay, that's actually new. That's not something I would have expected. Resigned? It came out of left field for a moment. I have no idea what she's talking about.
辞任したんだ。
Resigned from this very committee? Why would he do such a thing when we're all so busy? He's so proud of being a member of it. Why did he suddenly...
真っ先に事件に遭遇したのに役に立てないからと書き置きを残して。
Yeah, but you're a victim. You're... It happened to you. If anything, this should motivate you more to find out why this happened.
だってそんな記憶がないのは村雲先輩のせいじゃ。
Yeah, I just feel bad. He must be feeling a lot of pressure, a lot of shame. I know that's a big thing in, like,
もちろんだ。
Japanese culture.
私もそんな風に思ったことなど一度もない。
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's useless. I mean, everybody else doesn't have any leads or anything to go off of either.
他の風紀委員もそう言って止めたが、自分の気が済まないと言って。彼が思い詰めているのは私も感じてはいたのだが、結局何も言ってはくれなかった。
Yeah, I bet Tsubaki's pretty depressed over that. She might have felt like she failed him. She says that somewhat in a tone of
村雲と
self-depreciation.
はうまくやれていると思っていたんだが、私では力不足だったようだ。
So that's why she's so depressed. I may not get along with him, but they've been working. I may not get along with him with him, but they've been working together for a
ム
long
さんが
time.
自分を責める必要はないでしょう。
そうですよ。残念ですけど、そのミブ先輩のせいでもないわけだし。
すまない。愚痴を聞かせてしまって。
You haven't done anything you need to apologize for, Tsubaki-chan. But what do you want to do?
わからない。 ただパートナーとして村雲に何かをしてやりたかったのかもしれない。
Couldn't you maybe persuade him to rejoin once this whole mystery is
素直に
resolved?
戻ってきてくれるだろうか。
来ない気もし
All you have to do is keep bugging him about it until he says yes, and then you get, so that you get off his
そん
case.
なのでなんとかなるの？
ありがと
Yeah,
う。なんだか少し気が晴れたよ。
I mean, I'd be really surprised if he doesn't end up rejoining, but I don't know. That's good. Try not to worry too much about it, okay? Nodding, she takes a deep breath and straightens her back as if to compose herself.
ちゃんと報告もあるんだ。風紀委員の見回りは強化されたよ。寮と学園との登下校時にも護衛がつくことになった。
そうですか。
ああ、個人個人の部屋にまで警護をつける人ではないが、寮内も念のため見回ることになった。部屋にまで侵入してくるやつを相手にどれだけ効果があるかはわからないが。
いえ、被害が出る恐れを極力排除するのは無駄なことではないでしょう。
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to prevent him from being able to get into rooms and things like that, but at the very least, yeah, you're helping the students, I guess, feel a little bit safer.
そのつもりで私たちも全力を尽くす。
よろしくお願いします。そういった方面は風紀委員会が頼りですから。
ああ、任せてくれ。
Alright, she leaves the office after forcing a smile on her face. Yeah, I mean, no other victims. I mean, that's good, I guess.
やっ
She's
ぱり落ち込んでるみたいだね。
a little bit concerned that that person hasn't woken up, though. Murkuma was such an idiot, there wasn't any need for him to quit. He was brooding over it, but I never expected this to happen. How is this supposed to help? I just hope he doesn't go on a rampage. Anyways, if he wants to catch the culprit or has an idea in mind, it'd obviously be better if he stayed in this marriage.
村雲くんも彼の考えがあって一人で行動することを選んだのでしょう。
I was thinking something similar just now. Yeah, it seems like he's trying to go lone wolf. He feels like being under the jurisdiction of the disciplinary committee maybe is holding him back. Maybe he plans on doing something morally that he thinks goes against the disciplinary committee's objectives. So maybe he's gonna do that on his own rather than make the disciplinary committee look bad. She interrupts me and says that calmly. Why would you do that? It'd be more effective to work as a team,
そ
don't
れ
you
は
think?
相手によります。
Depends on the people you're working with. So he's gonna work with maybe somebody who isn't as reputable? That's supposed to be sarcasm. I get the feeling that it was. She sounded like she was bashing my opinion rather than agreeing with Murakumo's actions. She answers with her own question as if it doesn't matter. If the matter doesn't concern her in the least. For the record, neither of us have made any progress on the
誰
current
に責
case.
任があるのかなどという話はしていません。
Well, it sure sounded like you were insinuating something when you said that it depended on who you're
一
working
人で
with.
行動した方が効率的な場合もあるというだけです。
Oh, I get it now. She was freaking roasting us. She's like, yeah, bro, it depends on who you're working with. So you're saying we're useless, huh? So basically you're saying that you preferred if Maru and I weren't around, right?
ちょっと二人とも。
We're gonna have a fight? Maru nervously interrupts our conversation. He heats up. Do you think you can do everything
そ
by
ちらこ
yourself?
そ何でも慣れ合いたがるのはやめてください。
やめてよ。揉めてる場合じゃないだろ。まだ目が覚めない人だっているんだよ。
You know, I actually agree with Kotaro. I really do. Guys, Maru is about to walk up to Muka and scolds us. Yeah, my bad. He's right. We've got better things to do.
それを忘れていたわけではありません。
I think what's going on with Ushio is she's feeling stressed out. Possibly just because of the whole situation. Maybe because she knows something about Mutsuki. Maybe there's something she's not letting us on to, you know? You should be honest with yourself for once. Even when I'm reflecting here, she just has to generate
事
bad
実を
blood.
言っただけです。
I have no idea why she's so displeased. Her face remains as expressionless
だ
as
か
ever.
ら。
ドクサさん、大変です。
Freaking Neko. Look how she disappears. We haven't seen her in so long. So we're about to start another argument. Furia bursts into the room and smashes the atmosphere to smithereens.
室山町さん。
Luka was taken aback by Furia's panicking, and her voice loses its aggressive edge. You came to tell us about feathers. practically tripping as she runs up to us. She waves her arms in the air. She desperately calls for help. Calm down. What are you talking about?
廊下が飛んでる
The hallway is flying. Having discerned that listening to Furia go on and on about feathers is pointless, Muko heads to the door.
わかりましたから案内してください。
She immediately takes Muko's hand and exits the room. Ah, wait up.
なの一体
I don't know. She's talking about feathers in the hallway. Like, who knows? Maybe a bird, like, got beaten to death out there. Mara and I leave the office as well, thoroughly confused. As we're running after Furia down the hallway, I can hear someone screaming in the distance. Perfect. I can end the episode right here. Cliffhanger. Or something about feathers and someone screaming. Awesome. I'm gonna end it here. And hopefully we'll... I said this last episode, but hopefully next episode we'll find out something more. Because I want to know really what's going on. I was expecting to have more answers by now, and we just haven't. So I'll end it here. I think it's a good stopping point. And we'll find out what's going on with the feathers. Neko just appearing out of nowhere talking about feathers is very random and unexpected. But anyways, guys, appreciate you. I'll see you in the next episode.